Thank you for listening to our very first Men Talking Mindfulness Microdose. We're going to be adding these to the feed on a regular basis. This first one that we're going to do is about the importance and the ingredients of high quality, or you can think of this as active listening. This is a practice just like anything else. What really helped me practice this on a regular basis is this one sentence: listen so intently that you disappear. And by me just continually dropping into different conversations and just reminding myself to get calm, be present, keep an open body, find my breath, find my feet, open my ears, right? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should be listening twice as much as you're speaking. So enjoy this microdose on active listening and share it with your friends. And without further ado, here we are. Required. Let's just break down the elements just so people remember, because you can practice listening and high quality listening and active listening every single day when all the different interactions you have with so many different people. If you just stop and listen, put down, the barriers that you construct around other people, or just because like they might wear a different color, they might have a different color skin, they might be driving some sort of truck or whatever, or wearing something that seems a little bit out of whatever, judgmental from you. We can, what if you just stop, get calm, and just remember, listening is not waiting to speak, being judgmental, reactive, playing the game as who's right, and trying to fix or solve problems or negotiate. Like, that's not active listening. Active listening is, leaning in, being genuinely curious, listening to their words, not yours, not waiting to hear things, like listening to their words, being empathetic, listening so deeply. I love this quote: listening so deeply that you disappear. This builds trust, connection, accesses our common humanity, and is a form of compassion. So it's like, that's, other tools. I'll just keep going. Active tools, being silent, let others do the talking. Maintaining eye contact is a great way to let people know that you're listening. And it's also listening. 75% of compassion, John, is just listening. Open body posture, since don't cross your arms. Like if you ever, this really became very clear to me. Look at John. Like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Like, look at that face. You know what I mean? Look at your shoulders are hunched and stuff. You know what I mean? You almost got like hair on your back, like a cat. Right? So it's like, but if you have an open body, and I learned this like here in the city doing some like adult education programs, like you literally close off your body, you close off your energy, you have like a stance, like you're a kind of like a wall or a fortress, instead of somebody that's open, accepting, and receiving. Being curious is super important as a tool of active listening. Seeking to understand, not to be understood. I'll say that again: seeking to understand, not to be understood. And there is freedom in controlling our reactions. And it's your job not to solve the problem or fix it. It is to be present. Active listening is an exercise in connection, not perfection. That's a good one. And questions that, here's a good one, John. Questions to ask that are going to foster active listening and create deeper understanding and engagement are, instead of like, going to the right or to the left and, bashing one side or the other. What if you lean in, keep that contact, that open body, right? Maintain that curiosity with asking questions like, or making statements like, what I heard you say was, and maybe repeat, to kind of stay in that conversation and let the other person know that you're with them and jiving with that particular line of conversation. Or maybe even something like asking a question: did I get that right? Or something you could say: tell me more about that. And last one I have here is, what do you mean by that? And I've implored some of these questions, John, because I'm very curious, and that's the key to this active listening, of where people are getting these opinions from. What kind of narrative are they following? How has that narrative been influenced? And what is influencing that narrative? What kind of facts and truth, or is there a basis of fact or truth based on what that other person is talking about? So, but if I don't listen to them and listen to their stories, or listen to their complaint, or listen to their frustration, then how am I going to know where they're coming from?
Right.
And how am I able to see them for like basically the unmet need that they're expressing as they're talking in that particular way? So,
yeah,
I don't know.
that, and I think taking it one step further,
Yeah.
hearing it, but then really feeling what it is they're
Yes.
saying, right? Having that
Yes.
compassion or the empathy piece, in truly understanding, again, why they're coming from, where they're coming from, why it is they're saying what it is they're saying, not just even hearing it, but feeling it, right? Taking it one step further, and understanding that we are all human beings, and we have our own battles, we have our own struggles. There are going to be certain.
Hey, thank you for listening to our first MTM microdose. We're going to be adding more microdoses to our feed to help you have a more successful, happier, healthier, and more peaceful life. So, and maybe you want to share this microdose with someone else, because I'm sure all these little tools, all these little microdoses that we're going to continually add to the feed will be helpful to others. So, thanks for spreading the word, spreading the love. Thank you for listening to Men Talking Mindfulness.